Hey everyone, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Che Arena. Now there has been a lot of debate over the last year about vaccinations. Some people are all about it, and some people think it's poison. Now, I don't care where you stand on this topic. I just did some digging to find the top 10 scary vaccine theories. I want to hopefully freak everyone out no matter what side of the argument you're on. Like always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. And without taking any longer, let's get into it. Number 10. If I don't vaccinate myself or my kids, who cares? Well, actually, a lot of people care, because you're not just putting yourself at risk, you're putting people at risk who are around you. People who are too young to be vaccinated, or people who have immune disorders and can't be vaccinated. It's kind of like if you fart in an elevator, and some people have gas masks, but some people can't afford to buy gas masks, and other people can't find one that fits their face. And your argument is, well, I don't care if I have to smell my own fart. Well, sorry buddy, there's other people now, and they don't want to smell your fart too. Also, unvaccinated adults are the leading cause for outbreaks. We've been seeing it all over the news lately. I would be so embarrassed if I was the cause of an outbreak. Ugh, totally bad. Major T. Number 9. Vaccines are used for mind control. Now, how do you control a populace? Do you use brain controlling signals through screens? Or maybe calming noises so you can get people into a hypnotic state and get into their subconscious? How about injecting them with some sort of serum to stop higher brain function? Well, if you want to do a good job, you should use all of the above. The deep dark corners of the internet think that vaccines are just one part of a major mind control scheme by the government. The conspiracy theorists out there think that the world governments want to stop us from reaching a higher state of consciousness, so we abandon our need for material things. This way, we'll be easier to control and easier to manipulate. There have been some things like this in the past, like Scandinavian governments practicing eugenics on people with mental disabilities, where they would sterilize them so they couldn't reproduce. This is pretty terrible. Number 8. Vaccines used for government testing. Different governments need to be ready for all sorts of warfare at any time. Some areas of the military specialize in biological warfare. Now, to do testing on certain biological weapons, you need volunteers. Or you could use your unsuspecting population. I managed to dig up a theory on the internet of governments using vaccines to test different types of bioweapons on isolated areas so they can monitor the effects. They do this in secret, 1, because they wouldn't want to freak out people, and 2, because they want a realistic representation of how these bioweapons would work in the field. They get to see exactly how these house-made diseases work. Like maybe they want to target men with heart conditions in between 50 and 60. Inject a few people in a small area with something, and then let it run wild. Ooh. Number 7. Vaccines don't work. Let's step out of the conspiracy world for a minute and look at this. A big argument of why you shouldn't get yourself vaccinated or why you shouldn't get your kids vaccinated is because vaccinations don't work. Well, that's simply not true. There has been a 99% drop in all diseases that we have modern vaccines for. And some diseases like smallpox have been completely eradicated. It's estimated that vaccines save around 6 million lives each year worldwide. They've also drastically reduced infant mortality rates in third world countries, since children are most likely to be affected by these diseases. Number 6. Over-vaccination. Now, probably the biggest problem with the medical industry in America is that it's a business. There's a huge amount of profit made off of people being sick and selling them loads and loads of drugs. Every time you get vaccinated, it costs money. And there have been some people who think that doctors might be over-vaccinating people so they can cash in on them. I mean, a doctor could tell you that you only need 3 vaccines and you're all set. But if they tell you that you need to get 20, it won't necessarily hurt your body, but it will definitely hurt your wallet. It's a huge conflict of interest that doctors and pharmaceutical companies make money off of people buying drugs. It changes the focus of making people healthy to selling them the most product. Number 5. Vaccines are made from aborted fetuses. They do say reuse, reduce, and recycle, but I never thought they would take it this far. There are 2 vaccines in the 1960s that use cells from aborted fetuses. This was created to help fight the rubella virus. This obviously caused an uproar and people were freaking out because they thought people were getting abortions to make vaccines. But everyone calmed down. There has never been an abortion to make vaccines. The fetus cells that they used had nothing to do with vaccine research until after the people had aborted their babies. And since then, no new fetal cells have been used in making vaccines. They can regrow new cells from the previous tissue. So don't freak out about this one. Number 4. We are at higher risk of outbreak than ever before. Think about it. There are more people on the planet than ever. We can travel with ease, and some people carrying disease never show signs. This could mean if some new, unheard of disease came along and we were not prepared for it, it could be a major catastrophe. Well, a catastrophe for some. The rest of us are gonna go full Mad Max and start driving around in huge cars, stockpiling guns, gas, and water. I mean, we all have fantasies about what we would do in a zombie outbreak. There have been outbreaks and quarantine areas before. Remember back in 2015 when there was an Ebola scare? If you got on a plane at that time, they would ask you a laundry list of questions to see if you were at risk. If someone like that got into a major populated area, it could be the end of days. I know, pretty cool. Number 3, vaccines are not foolproof. Even though that it is proven that vaccines help reduce the amount of disease worldwide, they are definitely not foolproof. I mean, this shouldn't be a big surprise. How many of you out there have accidentally put a shirt on backwards? Some of us can screw up the simplest things. When it comes to vaccines, there's a lot that can happen. For starters, each person and each vaccine can give a different level of immunity. Also, it can take time for the vaccine to kick in. So if you contract the disease between the time you're injected to the time the vaccine actually starts working, you're kinda screwed. Probably the worst thing that can happen is some people will have allergic reactions to vaccines. But even after all these things, it's still very clear that it's the much safer route to get vaccinated. I would rather have an allergic reaction than full-blown measles. Number 2. It is illegal to not get vaccinated. This is specifically the United States, and the laws vary from state to state, but it's illegal to not get vaccinated. It does make some sense with all the things we've covered in this list so far. We understand the risks that are involved with not being vaccinated. But we also covered a few things that were a little freaky about getting the shot in the arm. It should still be someone's choice whether or not they want to get vaccinated. Should the government be allowed to step in? Obviously, if you don't get vaccinated, you increase your chance of catching an infectious disease and infecting the other people around you. But shouldn't you still have the liberty to choose what goes into your body? Like if you want to drive, you do need to get a government license ID. But you can make the choice to not drive. Let us know in the comments whether you think it should or shouldn't be legally required to get vaccinated. Number 1, do vaccines cause autism? Now this is the big one, guys. Do vaccines cause autism? I'm gonna tell you right now that if you have a serious concern about this, you should not be coming to me to answer this question. I eat Pop-Tarts still and I only own 1 pair of jeans. I don't really know. I'm just giving you what the internet says. And the internet says no. There have been cases of kids showing signs of autism after they get vaccinated, but there's never been a link between the two. In fact, some vaccines can help prevent certain types of autism like the ones caused by the rubella virus. This argument is really what kicked off the whole anti-vaccination thing. No matter what side of the argument you're on, I want you to know that I don't care. I have bigger things to worry about, like buying a second pair of jeans. Well everyone, that's our list. Be sure to let us know in the comments what your favorite conspiracy theory about vaccines is. I love conspiracy theories, so if you have any comments about this video, about me, Amazing Top 10, please let me know. Like always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Chaderena, and I'm gonna go check with my mom to see if I was ever vaccinated.